Hey guys, it's Later. I'm back with another video. Today I will be reviewing set number 6959, Lunar Launch Site. This is one of the coolest LEGO sets that I own because it is a vintage LEGO space set released in 1994 under the theme called Spires. This is the largest set out of the Spires theme. This beautiful LEGO set contains 272 pieces and 3 LEGO figures. Let's check a look at the figures first. Our first figure is a Spirian. Now, for the story of Spires, there are two main factions. We have the Spirians, which is these guys, and the droid, and we have the Unitron, which is the good guys. These are the bad guys. Here we have a normal Spirian. He has basically the same printing as a 1994 figure would have for the time. See, he has a nice printed torso. He has a red space helmet from the time with a green visor. He has a black oxygen tank, I guess you will. And the same for all other figures of this time, no back printing. And if we take his helmet off, you can see that he has this nice little, future headband with some hair showing. So he's like subhuman, I guess. And he has some nice torso printing. Now that we are done with this first Spirian, or astronaut, let's go on to the second Spirian. Here we have our second Spirian figure. This astronaut right here looks to be something of value, seeing as how he has a different helmet than the other one. He may be a captain or lieutenant, we'll never know, because LEGO didn't really give a description for these guys. And as you can see, he has a nice printed helmet with some blue accents and some silver accents. He has basically the same molds and features and prints of the other figure. The only difference being that helmet and his face. Let's take a look at his face. Here is this person's face. As you can see, he has a nice little mustache right there and some stubbles. He has also some hair dripping down. And so his face is pretty nice. Moving on to the third and final figure of the set, this is the Spires Droid. Now, he is my favorite figure of the set because of some awesome looking molds and printing. He has a nice translucent space helmet, as you can see here. And he has some printing of his torso that looks like he's a robot. His face even has those wires and details in it, so which is pretty cool. He has no back printing, as is like the standard for all the other figures, but he does have leg printing and waist printing. Now, LEGO can call this guy a Spires Droid, or another official name, Major Kartovsky. You can really call it whatever you want, because there are multiple Spires Droids. But for the remainder of the video, I will call him Major Kartovsky. Now that we're done with the figures, let's look at some vehicles that were included. Here is a look at the Lunar Buggy. It's a nice little simple build. As you can see, it has like a little laser beam thing at the front. It has 6 wheels, each has this sitting, 2 controllers, and a control pad, which is a nice printed piece that is included in all the Spires sets, for my knowledge. You could take your Spirian and put him in here, and he can just sit like that so. And now he can drive his buggy up the ramp that we'll get to soon. The second vehicle in the set is this little saucer build. This spaceship includes a nice piece for the time. Well, there's like 5 pieces that are, maybe 6, I don't know. But there's a lot of old vintage pieces that are included, like these pieces right here. You don't really see this nowadays. Neither these hinge pieces. And also, you don't really see this piece either. This glass, blue glass. Here's a look at the bottom. You can see it's pretty plain. But those little things will come in handy later. Here we have the booster at the back, which will help it fly. And a nice printed 2x2 tile right here. You can open this up and put your other Spirian and put him in there. He can fit in like so, and he has a little controller right here to control the ship. And when you're done, you can just put this down. He also has a blaster at the front that can shoot down enemy starcraft. It's included with this hinge piece. This is a retired piece from my knowledge. You won't see this in the new sets nowadays. Now that we are done with the vehicles, let's head on to the base itself. The Lunar Launch Site base is built on a giant raised base plate. Raised base plates were as the name suggests, base plates that had built-in features on it that made it more look like natural, or just made the build a little easier with less parts. LEGO doesn't use these nowadays, but you can find them on Bricklink for pretty cheap prices. This raised base plate includes a ramp, and it's all black, includes a ramp, and it has craters to indicate the lunar part of it. Let's start with some features on the base. We'll start with the ramp section right here. So you can take your little buggy and you can go up here on the ramp where he'll be stopped by this gate right here. The gate can open. It is on a hinged piece, so your driver can just go right in like that, and he has a little spot to park it. Moving up from there, we have this control center with this huge piece right here. This is another piece you won't see nowadays, but it's really awesome for the time being. This is a sticker with some nice features you can see. Makes it look a little more sci-fi. And let's get a closer look at that interior. At the back here, we have a little radar dish and some radar things. This can hinge open, and you get access to the interior. So for interior standards, it's pretty bland. There's not a lot in it. There is a little lever and a button over there, if you could see, in blue. But there is this piece right here, which is like one of those bank pieces that you'll see. It can open up and it reveals a decoding tile, or some variety of that. The decoding tiles were basically the essential part of Spires. It's one of those pieces that are important, I guess you could call it. The Spires Droids would be sent out to gather intel on enemy weapons, and they will decode them using this little panel right here. That's the little lore behind it, and we can just take it out of Major Kartovsky's hands, and we can just put it back into here and close it up like so. You can also see there's another control panel right there. And when you're done with that, you can just close it back up, and if we move on to the top here, we have a little tube that connects to this. And up here we have like another satellite piece, which is connected onto this hinge, so, not hinge, but it's connected onto an axle, which can spin freely by turning this, or just by turning this. Here's another piece that you won't see. I'm sorry, I keep mentioning them, but this is a huge, like, construction piece. Here we move on to here. And as you can see, there's like, it's like a little loading section, or like, got some bars right here protecting you from this giant rock, which we'll get to later. And your figures can stand here, or they can stand on this tiled area. However, this tiled area could be a trap, or it could be a chute, because if we go over here, sorry about that, there is a little lever, and if you slide it upwards, I will show you what happens. Everything in the set, every feature is labeled by those arrows. If you pull it, they slide in, and you can slide it back. So call it a trap or chute. You can call it whatever you want. We'll just leave Major Kartovsky in there for now. Moving on to the side here, we have a little blaster, and that is on a clip, so your Spires Droids can take it. Moving on to the front of the build, you can see that there's a platform here with another lever. We'll get to that very soon. That actually includes the best feature of the set, in my opinion. But there's like, this actually functions as a landing pad for the ship. Remember how I told you these will come in handy. You can just put your ship on there, and it will sit like that. And when you put it on like that, it will like basically lock into place. But here is the coolest feature of the set. Now, I told you about that lever. I will put this to the side to show you what happens. So you'll see that there's this little lock on here. We can just keep that on like that for now. If we pull on this, I'll take off the ship. If you just pull on this, boom. The rock in the open will slide. In there is a rocket. You can launch the rocket now, and it will take off, and it will spy on others. Here's a look at the rocket itself. As you can see, it has some nice red and black, like little fins on it. It has two antennae, if you will. And at the front is this really cool looking missile piece that you don't see yet. There's this nice bottom. And here's the front. And here, there's your rocket. Pretty nice rocket, in my opinion. Now, when you want to put your rocket back, my bad, you can just put it on these little pieces, and it'll just sit on there. And when you are done opening and you want to close it back up, you could just push this back, and it should slide back into place. Now, here's where the lock comes into play. So, to prevent this from opening, you could just put the lock here, and then I'll close. Alright everyone, that has been my review of set number 6959 Lunar Launch Site from the theme Spires. I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!